Welcome back, everyone. So for everyone who is just a listener and doesn't follow anything else, we're more than just a podcast now. We're like a full-on magazine. So, and today our guest is Sergey. Sergey's a tattooer, also a painter, illustrator, and an amazing mechanic, apparently.
Yeah.
So not a mechanic, but
he's got a breadth of knowledge of motorcycles, cars, and all cool cultural stuff like that.
Sergey, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh yeah, thank you for inviting.
Dude, it was we were at CC's and we saw your stuff and it was fucking awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
Well, I think what sparked our interest most is I was just at the Wild One race, and it was a flat track race, and what you had in CC was like your massive flat track. It was basically a mural, and I just thought that was so well done. But it made so much sense that you're a tattoo artist as well, because you could definitely see that shown in your paint work too.
Yeah, I was trying first to draw those little paintings, kind of like they would look like a flash design, but with some scenery. Yeah. Actually, it came out by accident because when I was working at Grizzly Tattoo, they had all the wall of flash, all of them 11 by 14, and there was only one spot where they didn't have any painting, and it was where the light switches are. And I was like, I should just paint something so to like engage with those switches, and I decided to draw the girl with a desert in the back, and where her tits are, the light switches would be, and I painted light switches like skin color and like a little nipple right on the top. That's how I painted the first one, and then I was like, and I had just to fill up the background with something, and I did the desert scene, and I was like, wow, I like that. Like, that turned out good. Even without the tits part, even just background is good. But then that on top, and I was like, I should try to paint more of them. And then I just sat down and drew a series of them, and then tried always figure out how I can shift to like bigger painting, because everyone who are cool, they paint big paintings, you know, like mine are 11 by 14, you can't even put it in a pocket. And then I realized that I have to figure out how to play with oil and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, bigger painting, bigger tits, more good. I like it.
So wait, what was your journey though in like, because you talked about going into oil and stuff, like what did you start with?
We'll start with how he got here, because he was mentioning that on his. This is like, you got to tell like how long you've been here and all that.
Was that your
stuff.
van out there, by the way?
Yeah,
that is so money.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, that has to be his van.
Thank you. Yeah, so I came 6 years ago, I guess now, and by accident, totally by accident. Actually, before I was living in Germany, in Berlin. Oh man, that was a good time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but then I was like, it's time to move, try something else. But first I came back to Russia, and my friend was like, oh, you want to stay in my garage? And I was like, yeah. I was still thinking, where should I go next and stuff. And it was pretty cold in November in the garage. And he got tickets to United States, and I was like, oh, can I maybe get same tickets and go with you? You need a driver or something. So we came here, and it was pretty weird that like a week later he was like, oh, I don't like that experience. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, I'll give you a ride to the airport. But since that, for 6 years I'm here, I've never left. And then first of the cars that I got here was a 76 Dodge van.
Nice.
And
that one? No. Okay.
No, not that one. That one actually was really cool. It was red with yellow pinstriping, velvet pink interior, bar, slot mag rims, side pipes, bubble windows, leather white ceiling, just a bed all the way around, and turns into a bar, and all like super 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I cross country in that like more than 10 times.
That's
and was
awesome.
just traveling
Really?
full time for 2 years.
Well, I mean, normally people will be a little afraid to take those cross country because it's from the 70s.
Dude was living in a garage in Moscow, bro.
Yeah, what can be
afraid of
worse?
fucking anything.
And I had nothing to lose. A shit car that kind of like, I don't know. I was just like, whatever, it will break. I'll go back to a garage.
So we've been chatting a little bit about our mutual love of like cars and like all kind of things like 60s, 70s kind of Americana. I think there's a certain freedom to like lean in and enjoy that part of like just like American like nostalgia stuff, not being from here. You know what I mean? Like what you hear people around here, they'll be like, yeah, it's America or whatever. And it's kind of like a cliche, but you get to like genuinely be like, yeah, the van had a fucking bed in it. This is dope as shit. You're like, you know what I mean? Like was that always a part of American culture that you were interested in, or did you kind of get here and were like, that's my shit?
I don't think that I was prepared. Also, I don't think I had any picture in my mind when I was coming here. I didn't have any expectations because I never watched movies. I never had a TV set. And like, I didn't have magazines or anything. So I had no idea what I'm getting into. Yeah. But then I got that 70s van and all the diners, dive bars, hot dogs at the gas station. I fucking loved it so much.
Dude, yes, you're doing it so right. I love it.
And then I was just like, what I love, I would just stick to it, you know. I don't like something, I'll just go back to what I love, and I was like trying to find that flow, and everything is awesome.
God, he makes it sound so simple.
It is that simple. He's freeing us. Sergey, you are changing my life in this interview. I'm fucking doing all the things you tell me I can't do, Al. I don't care what anyone says. Chain wallets are dope.
So was Portland the first place you landed when you came to the U.S.?
No. First I went to Arizona because I was curious what's up with the Grand Canyon, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And we drove out there, and then I drove through Portland. And when I was driving through Portland, I was like, wow, I love this place. Also, I met one person, he invited me to tattoo at his shop, and I was like, okay, I'll stop by. And he was driving a like 54 custom chopped roof, dropped car, golden lowrider paint, and he was insane. He was like crazy, and we were like, wow, what's up with that? And all his friends were drag racing, doing silly shit, just get drunk and go to all the strip clubs, start shit here and there, and then like try to avoid.
Yeah, that's like, Portland.
Bro,
that's Portland.
I love that this is the first artist that I have secured for the podcast, because this is my fucking dude. This is what art is, people. In case you were wondering with your fucking oil paints and all that stuff. This is real art. Black Ball Mag, motherfucker. Fuck yes, Sergey. I want a tattoo of you.
Actually, that would be kind of cool.
That's kind of dope.
He'd be like our spirit animal.
Do a portrait of you on me.
Hell yeah, we can start some cult here too.
A cult? No, not a cult.
It's a good time.
Now
cult.
It's a brand. You fucking ruined it. Okay, so tell me this: tattooing Moscow, and then I'll get back to your question that I totally stole from you, Al. My bad. But he's on his roll. You were tattooing here. Were you tattooing in Russia?
Oh yeah, so, I started before I even was 18.
well, that's cool. Because the intricacy and the stuff there is, I mean, their tattoo culture is deep.
Yeah.
But it kind of seems like, from what I've seen, it's kind of all flash, because every tattoo that I see everyone have is like it's a story, and it's almost like an alphabet, right? It doesn't seem like anyone. And again, don't know a ton of Russians. But the ones I've met, they all have something that I've seen kind of before, and it's just to the degree of how well it's done. So I'm certain that made you incredibly like efficient. But are a lot of people in Russia walking up and being like, "So, comrade, I have idea. I see a butterfly, and it makes me think of my mom." Like, is it like, I don't really feel like it's like that. It's like, I earned my third spire of the fucking Kremlin on my back. Yeah. So fill me in. What's it like over there? Like,
I think when I was starting, the criminal tattoo culture was still around, but then there was some changes in the government. Because it was like a society in prisons and stuff. Yeah, but then Putin changed that thing that if first time you go to prison, you go to spend time only with people who are first time there.
That's
nice. Yeah, really nice actually. So it broke up the kind of like evolution of that, and then it just like fell apart in pieces, and then it's not like a society anymore because they're not together and stuff. They're not communicating.
Well, I mean, like, dude, imagine like you're a first timer and you end up next to Fedor's brother. You're like Fedor Emelianenko, like Alexander, like that dude's they called him the Grim Reaper. You're like, I'm here for parking tickets. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but then like kind of, because when I just started to get tattoos, I remember that if you like run into some of these guys on a like subway or in a train or something, you can get in trouble. But then after it like start to fall apart, people start to be more open to tattoos, and then everyone tried to like just jump on that and be like, okay, that's something hot that like never been popular before, and let's figure it out and do our best job and really fast, because that market probably will overflow really fast.
Okay.
So all the growing was going really fast, and I think the difference between American culture and Russian culture, I think that in Russia it was not allowed to do something that was already done, and everyone tried to come up with their own thing. When here, I think it's still okay to like trace and use old school designs. They're super badass, as like not like just do them over and over. And I think that's why I could not just do that in Russia, because all my friends will be like, oh, you can't trace, like don't go and get tattooed by him, he's tracing. So I try to always to figure out something. Also, I try to inspire by just my surroundings. So now if I'm like traveling and all the dive bars and all that stuff, I want to try to grow, like maybe put it into my work, do like bar fights and highways and really nice steeds.
Dude, I love it. This is like the new, you know what I mean? We were gonna have a hard time replacing Bourdain, but we have a real shot at it right now.
He is living like a very interesting version of the American dream.
It is, and again, I'm talking about the gumption that you have to embrace it when you're not from here.
Yeah,
you could just go all like. Imagine if I ever actually went to Italy. How I'd never wear a shirt. You know what I mean? Just go, because I'm Italian, but I'm not really Italian. I go over there, it's like, all right, I'm leaning in.
Well, I think he just like came here and then found things that he just liked and didn't have this like tainted vision of what the media tells you the American dream is. You just found what you like. And he made it work.
Also, you can just pick what you like and create it around that, and then make this big too.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, back to your frilly art questions.
I was just curious, like, what did you start with artistically? Like, because you didn't just go straight in the tattooing, you had to have done some sort of
I finished, actually, I have even architecture degree.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But never got
Dude, you literally just go, I'm going to do everything. That's awesome.
That's thanks to my mom. She's badass, and she was like, you have to fucking do this, finish it. Wow. Really grateful. That was a good move.
Nice. Well, actually, in Russia, they do make you start on tattoos because they don't want to waste oranges to practice. They just give you a person and you go, tattoo him. He doesn't want it. Work on him.
So they taught me how to draw in some kind of way. But then I got into punk hardcore scene in Russia. I was playing in a lot of bands. That's how I started to travel too, and how I really got into and why I love traveling so much. Because it's fucking good time all the time. But after, I think my friend just made me tattoo, and my friend, before that I was drawing all the stuff for all local punks, like t-shirt designs, album covers, like all the posters and all that. And then one day they just brought me tattoo machine, and they were like, you have to figure it out and you have to start this. And a lot of Black Flag logos, like
that's a good thing.
Minor
to start
Threat, Descendants. Did a couple on myself even.
Nice.
I have a question about, because you're talking about the punk rock scene. I mean, in Russia, okay, at least in America, there was like the traditional punks where it was all studs, mohawks, all that. But then there was also like the hardcore scene of kind of straight edge people, where they put like the X's on their hands, and they would kind of wear Nikes, and they were like arguably more violent than anyone else because they didn't like the party.
They couldn't have a beer to calm down.
Well, no. Yeah, they couldn't have maybe. I mean, I'm just curious. Was that culture like mirrored in Russia? Was it the same kind of thing, or were they completely different?
It was pretty the same, but also since we had so much shit in Russia, it's so crazy. It like just the really crazy environment kept all punks together.
Yeah.
Like we would go to a show and there will be like a crazy militant straight edge vegan hardcore band, then super crust drug addict punk band after that, and then like indie pop power, I don't know, whatever, synth emo band, and then after that some like hip hop punk related band too, and all together one show.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it was awesome. Everyone had a great time.
Well, because it's a huge threat. I mean, we have this we kind of take it for granted how rebellious we're allowed to be in America. Like it's like that. There was a legit kind of risk to being that way in Russia, right? Or am I wrong? I mean, the line from like, hey, you guys are having fun to we're gonna throw you in jail for something. Like it seems is it as easy over there to like cross the wrong person and just kind of like get in trouble as we think it is?
Yeah, but also I think it's you can turn everything there into a joke and just make fun, and then everyone will laugh at it and they'll be like, oh, that was stupid, and then we'll go back to being friends.
Wait, do they have freedom of speech? Freedom of speech?
I don't know.
Like
I don't think
you could talk shit about Putin and it'll be fine.
No,
Yeah.
it won't be fun.
You can talk all the shit you want about Trump, though. Okay, you brought up being in Germany. Sorry, this is like the timeline just kind of worked out. Like, so you said how long ago was that? Like you were in Germany? Like 10 years ago?
Right before States, so like 7-8 years ago.
Is there any chance you caught Rammstein in Germany?
Actually, that was funny because first time, no, I didn't. But we were going to, whatever. It's not, but no, I didn't see that.
Oh, no worries, man. Like whatever I hear about like people in Germany, because like that timeline or whatever, and then the kind of music.
Do they still play? I think
they're kind of
like
gone
90s.
now, man.
Wait.
I mean, you can't, what?
They do still play?
I don't know.
The last album they released was a couple years ago, but I remember when we were in high school and like
I think I was like 12 when I heard about them last time.
Right? Yeah, it's been forever, but I was like, maybe it was long enough ago that he like caught them in Germany.
Yeah, no,
because I heard about that kind of stuff. I was very curious. Yeah,
Good song though.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Those power chords worked really well.
Yeah. You got a baritone singer. I mean, do what you got to do. So what's on the agenda for you like right now? I mean, you're tattooing. Do you have any like fun stuff you're working on? Big projects? I mean, what gets you fired up, brother? Besides going really fast,
a race car. That's just what I'm working on. Trying to figure out how to paint with oil. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I want to paint really big paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
How big was that flat track one at CC?
Let me think. I think it was 72 by 84.
That's pretty
big.
Yeah, I want to paint bigger ones.
Fuck it.
That's cool, man.
Go faster, paint bigger. I get it, man.
I want to make a painting big enough to drive my dart through it.
Yeah, right.
That's a good idea.
Dude, you should paint one of those tunnels from like the old cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Drive your dart through it.
I actually seen somebody painted on a wall and car crashed into it at night.
Way.
It actually happened. It's fucked up. But
I saw a meme about that or something. It's really funny.
So you found kind of this community of people with vans. How did you like find them, and also what are you getting from it? Because we know some of those van people and we think they're all really rad. And
they're rad.
But like a year ago, I didn't know this was a thing. So it's new to us, and now we're like, we need a van.
Oh yeah. We're very thirsty to be in the van crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got that van, and I don't know. I'm not really trying to go online a lot. Like try to spend the least time that I can there. But I remember when I was in New York, somebody spray painted my van. Oh. And then all the van community hit me up and they were like, oh, that's a bummer. And that's when I started to like, and then I was like, oh, there is like a van community. Uh-huh. And then when I came back to Portland, and I've been meeting people with vans all the way when I was traveling like everywhere too. I mean, it's kind of like hard not to notice another really old van when you're driving an old van, and kind of all came together. And yeah, they're super fun. Yeah, it's really awesome. They do all these events, camp outs, and that's super cool.
It seems like a fun crew.
Yeah,
it really does. It seems like kind of like the next generation. It's like, it makes sense. It's like our generation's version of those giant motorhomes that the old people drive. It's like, we don't need a giant motorhome. Like, let's just hop in the fucking van. You know what I mean? It's definitely an aged down version of it, but still that nostalgia factor is awesome.
Yeah, but some people take the route of like the Sprinter van, but I think the old 70s vans have way more character.
Way more.
Yeah.
It's a lot cooler. I mean, but I did see a bunch of the posts from that camp out you guys had. And there was like the small van too.
Oh, yeah.
People drive around like a little minivan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like a go-kart.
Well, he was ripping around on a go-kart, and I was like, hell yeah, that looks like fun.
God. Yeah. So
if there's something with an engine in it, you will find it. I dig that.
Yeah. Yeah, I once saw a video how one guy was driving it on a highway, and I was like, oh, what's up with that? And he had like a head sticking out from it. And I was like, I gotta find one. And I was looking for one for like 2 years, and then finally found maybe like 3 years ago. And I always wanted to build it and race it, and I put it together. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, I went to the Wild One, and I got a chance to race it there, the dirt track.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I probably saw you then. I was filming in the middle. So, God damn, man.
This whole moto community around here is a really small world, and I like everyone.
Oh yeah, it's really great.
We gotta introduce you to the people over at Icon. They would fucking love you. Have you met any of the people over at Icon Motorsports yet?
I don't think so.
They're more motorcycle based, but like you're their vibe.
Oh yeah, I remember I saw their motorcycles, the electric ones. Yeah,
they had built one. Well, it was.
They had a couple different ones there, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I met them.
Yeah, they're really nice people. So what do you what gets you like inspired? I mean, do you have like, as far as artwork stuff goes, I mean, nice tits, good things.
Yeah. First things first.
We're calling this episode Great Tits. But I mean, I like, paint what you love. But like, how'd you initially get started? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't always have those experiences. Like, what were you painting? Were you painting different stuff when you were in Russia? Were you making
yeah, totally. I think when I was in Russia, I was still like into punk hardcore, so I was inspired by teats and punk t-shirts. So
what an inspiration.
I'm just
what a way to be inspired.
I mean, he's saying what I've been thinking since we started this
thing. Yeah, but then like some like more punk related stuff, I don't know. And then like in Berlin, it was like totally different, like and then just like
leather and tits.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's like chrome, hot leather, and teats.
Wow.
Actually just watched that movie. It's a badass movie. I just watched all the 70s biker and van related, kind of like Up in Smoke, the Chin Chin Chong, same, but like about. Also, I started to draw a lot of bar fights, and then I found out about those 70s biker movies, and they just fight all the time.
Oh, yeah.
About a motorcycle, at a diner, at a bar, in the desert, in the forest, on a motorcycle, jumping from a roof of a van and still fighting.
Yeah.
And that kind of an inspiration too, but I always was just like, I don't know, I was traveling for a while and just like a sponge getting all that like feels of diners, gas stations, and like and trying just to paint that, bring it to paper, and also listening to some country and stuff, and just trying to get inspired by that. I'm trying not to look at other people's work, not to get inspired by that, so I'll have kind of my own vision without like looking through a lens of other stuff that already exists.
Yeah, that's actually like a one thing that we hear people are on one side or the other with all the time. They're like, some people see it as like incest, as I heard, and other people are like, well, that's kind of how you develop styles. You kind of pick and choose little elements from different styles, and then you create in your own thing. But yeah, so I think you do have a really unique style. I mean, definitely, you could tell that you are a tattoo artist though. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's where all the lines and black shading from one side to another side comes
Clean
from.
gradients and everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like this weird hybrid of like old-timey like Americana posters and then meets like pinup style, meets tattoo, meets flash. I mean, there's elements to all of it there, but it's very like the amalgamation has come together to be something very aesthetically unique, which is fucking cool, man. Like having seen your stuff, I feel like I could spot it in a room now pretty quickly, which is what I like in an artist. Yeah. You're welcome, man. Yeah, it's good shit.
Thank you.
Have you done any shows?
Like art shows?
Yeah.
No, I don't even know how to start them.
You're on the right place, man. The next one we do, you're on it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. You just gotta find a space. I don't know. We could help you with that, I'm sure.
Dude, people will buy your stuff is so cool and sellable. It's awesome, man. Honestly, I love every artist that we've had on the show, but it's been a long time since like I've personally seen so many things from one person that I want in my house. There's always something that I want from somebody, but like I'm like, oh, what's up, dude? Like that's
yeah.
We need to connect him with some of the like the MMA guys. I feel like they would really dig his vibe too. Do you know any of those dudes in Portland? There's a bunch of those like mixed martial arts typey fighting guys that are running around.
No,
we've jumped into so many of these weird little families that he becomes friends with, and like, yeah, they're the ones that aren't super punchy are really nice people.
The other ones are out of their mind.
Well, you could say that about artists too.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
Speaking of artists, I mean, what other artists do you enjoy looking at? What kind of music you listen to, like specific bands or?
Oh, lately I listen to just everything. And about artists, I think my favorite one that I actually think that maybe I got really inspired by is Max Kuhn. Mm-hmm. He was a tattooer too, and now I think he does only like folk art, and it's super cool. Actually, it's super. I think we have even a really similar style. And when he was a tattooer, he was doing really cool things. I remember that he made that video that was called Homeless and Homesick, and he was just traveling in a car around United States and tattooing out of motels.
Wow.
And I think that's like really cool, and nobody had never done anything like that.
Wow. That's awesome.
And now he actually paints like diners, cafes, bars, train hoppers, hobos, and it's super cool.
Huh. Max Kuhn, I gotta check that out.
Max Kuhn.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely on the list, man. So do you have any like we always like to ask artists if they have advice for other ones, you know, like how to get started or like, you know, how to get unstuck or just, I don't know, if you have like a general thing, someone wants to, you know, start tattooing or doing art, you know, more professionally, what are your thoughts?
I would say just start and like just not look for inspiration or wait for it. Just do as more you do, it comes just from doing. And then you get inspired by pretty much something that you already done, and then you just like make it bigger and cooler, and then you're like, oh, let's add this. And then the other thing, never give up. Like that's only one thing why people quit, because they give up. So like never give up and just do and do as much as you can, and never stop. Just never stop.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. I think you're so spot on though. I think you just gotta start. Because I see a lot of people where I've seen it like with my friends where they're like sitting there with the pencil and paper and they don't know what to do. I'm like, you just got to like just start something and you'll be like, oh, that sucks. Let me try it again. Oh, that sucks too. But like you got to, you know, go through that process of kind of elimination. And then that's how you'll eventually get to where you want to go.
Honestly, I think that every time when I'm trying to paint something small or big, I have kind of an idea and vision of what I want to do. And then I'm like, okay, let's look for references or something. And as soon as I start like looking for references, just time flies and nothing is done. And then I'm like losing interest. And then I'm like, and then next time I'm like, okay, I tried to look for references last time and totally didn't help. Also, if I'll have like 20 references in front of me and I'll start just putting that what I have in my mind, probably it will end up being just only that without using references. Yeah. So I think that sometimes using references is even waste of time.
Yeah. I see people do the same thing with even just finding, because we do a lot of videos, like finding a song for a track or for a video. You'll just like go through like these, it's an infinite amount of songs. You just no, and the next thing you know, you've been doing that for an hour.
Yeah.
And you're like, I need to pick some.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've watched me do that the one time you had me try and pick a song. Well, the other thing that's tough with references, like if you find something that does inspire you, then it becomes really difficult not to just duplicate it.
Yeah.
Like we have a script we're working on right now, and we had kind of an inspiration for it.
Yeah.
I've written this thing 7 times, and it just keeps coming out as the thing that inspired it. It just keeps coming out way too much like it. And so I'm like, I have to now go get inspired by something different, or like just abandon it completely, because I end up I keep recreating the inspirational thing. Like I'm not just taking the bit of it, it just keeps being the same thing. So that can be a trap in itself.
Also, another thing, I think that I'm sometimes like kind of a perfectionist, And I think that sometimes it's really bad because like, and I know a lot of people who try to make it perfect, and before it's perfect, they're not putting it out, but only what matters is what's out, you know? So sometimes it's better to have something out rather than have nothing. Totally. And like chasing, making perfect and perfect. And especially there is no perfect. Sometimes you like redo it and it will be worse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like sometimes lately I realized that I have just to finish and put it out rather than really chasing the perfection.
We have a chain that we send each other stuff on to kind of keep things motivated, and he sent this to me the other day. You are 100% successful as soon as you send your project off into the world, regardless of how it is received. And it's Rick Rubin. It's like kind of that same. Yeah, he's like but it's the same point. Like, eventually you gotta put it out there, man.
Yeah,
you could tweak it to death. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's also the like never-ending mental debate of like you gotta also decide when you're done with it, because I mean, with the painting, you could be constantly refining or adding stuff or moving. That you could do that.
I think what will help in this situation is a deadline. So.
Yeah, Jack White says that's the only reason his albums get done is because he gives himself deadlines.
Yeah, like with me, like anything. You know, I always do it last moment, and it's only because I have deadline. I'll be like, okay, I won't sleep tonight, and I'll do this. If I won't have the deadline, I'll be like, you know, like sometime, maybe never.
Well, I'll do that with clients. Like if I feel like things are not going well, or like I'm like not getting it done or whatever, I'll set a meeting I'm not ready for, just because. All right, you better get it done. Like, you know what I mean? Like that happens all just because like we all need to come together. Like, cause they're, you know, not super eager to like get things done, and then we're over here kind of doing, you know, waiting for them. So it's like, let's get in the room. You know what I mean? That it's helpful, man. Pressure does like it creates good things sometimes.
Yeah. Also with music and art, I think like you should never listen to other people's opinions. Oh my God, that actually happened when I was painting those paintings for CC, those 3 big paintings. Because first, like, one of my friends stopped by and he was like, oh, why this girl is naked? Like, you should put shoes on her or something. And I was like, okay. And then I'll paint it. And I was like, it looks like shit now. Like, why would I listen? And I was like, why would I listen to a friend who just like came in and was like, throw shoes? And then like my neighbor across the road, he was like, what are you doing? I don't see you in the garage. And I'm like, painting. And he walked in and he was like, this blue background sucks. Like, you should repaint it.
Oh my gosh.
And he left and I was like, okay, I'll repaint it, you know, like maybe he's right. And then I repainted and I was like, oh my God, I have to repaint it back to blue now. And why would I listen? And also I think that with art, whatever you do, it always finds the right crowd. Mm-hmm. And it's just natural, you know? So whatever you want to put out, you have to put out what you want. And then it will find its crowd, and it's just important to keep it how like you want it. Really important, like more important than anything. And that's what it just makes so much more sense too by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the biggest kind of takeaway from getting to spend a small amount of time with you is that like you have really harnessed an ability that a lot of people struggle with, whereas like you're just like, I like this shit, and you fucking don't apologize for it, and you fucking and you work hard at it, and you like it, and you lean into it. And I think that like, especially in the way the world is today, like that's desperately needed. I mean, how many people do that with their own lives, and the things they like to do is they just analyze or just overanalyze their own existence. Like, is this cool? Is this right? Is this? It's like, I don't know, man. Fucking engines are dope. Let's go.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, let's fire them up.
Yeah, man.
But those unsolicited opinions will definitely get to your head. I mean, like, whenever someone gives me an opinion about something, I always have to think, okay, what is this person's background, and do I care about that?
Yeah. Especially with the internet now, when everyone has like an opinion, and it's so like, you know,
toxic. It's toxic,
and I
man.
mean, like, with all the Yelp and Instagram, like, you know, like, for example, if it's a restaurant and before people had to finish and get like a degree and be like restaurant critics, so they finished 4 years of education, and it was hard, and then they went through every aspect, and now they can go to a restaurant and write a professional review, you know. But then now it doesn't exist because somebody will go on Yelp and be like, hey, so I didn't like the color of the plate. And they don't have that, and it just like destroys the idea of criticizing, is it right word, and then when somebody with no education, with not familiar to the restaurant, why is it like that, or like can just put out their opinion, and it's not really even that valuable as if somebody who finished it, have a degree in.
Yeah, it's like qualified criticism or constructive criticism, not just like, I think that it's a bigger testimony about your work if someone that you think is shit really likes it. You know what I mean? There's certain people have dog shit taste. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is a compliment if someone with bad taste doesn't like a restaurant. Like, oh, you don't like nice things, so I'm glad you hate it here.
Yeah. But also another suggestion, just like never stop, because like, just I always think that I'm not good enough, like with paintings and everything, that every time when I see some famous people, artists doing the same stuff, I'm like, oh shit, they're so much better. And then and now I'm like, I can't stop now before I'll get to this point, you know? So it's really important when you think that you're not good enough, that means that you should not stop before you're good enough. Rather, I mean, other ways, it's just giving up.
God damn.
I love it.
Good shit.
Sergey, you're a fucking treasure. You are welcome back on here anytime you're available, brother. Where can everybody find you? What's your Instagram? What's all your stuff?
Sergey Tattooer.
And then is there
How do you spell it? Spell it.
Sergey and Tattooer. Tattoer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on a spelling bee right there.
Hey, this is your second language. Quickly, spell live on camera in it.
And I skipped the alphabet part. Straight jump into bad words.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I'd learn it, too, if I came to it as an adult, man. No stress. Thank you for the time, brother. You were a treat, man. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a good time.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.